Yo, what's going on, you guys? This is Mike or Geekermo. Welcome back to another video. Today, we're going to be talking about lighting. The lighting is oftentimes one of the most underrated aspects of content creation. A lot of people sit down, they'll film a video, and they have no idea if the light's behind them, if the light's in front of them. Now, it matters less in categories like travel vlogs, but if you're stationed at a desk and you got a camera in front of you like I do here today, lighting is probably the most important thing when it comes to how professional your video looks. Now, thankfully for me, I've got all my monitors here, so I've got some front light on my face. This could look much, much worse. If I were to turn my screen off here, if I were to turn this screen off over here, you can see what I'm getting at here. But there's a whole lot more that goes into it than just front lighting. All right, now that I made my point, let me turn my lights back on and we'll jump into the video. The hard thing about lighting is if you don't get it right, your videos can really suffer. The good news for you, and what we're gonna talk about today, is it's much easier than you think. There's a couple key things that if you keep it in mind, you're gonna go a long ways when it comes to elevating your videos. All right, so you got a desk, you got a setup like me, you've got a camera, maybe you have a tripod. How do you go about choosing the lights to use? Where do you put them? There's so many different questions. Today, I'm gonna provide you with all the answers. All right, so number one tip, you're going to wanna have a light at the camera facing you. That's gonna be your primary light. It's gonna light up your face. Like you saw earlier in the video, if you don't have it, you only have a light behind you to the side, you're either gonna be a silhouette or you're gonna look extremely scary. So one thing I'll show you guys on my website, My Creator Insights, there's a tab on the left. You don't have to be a Patreon member to access this page. There's a number of tools I put under the free section. One of those is the essential gear list. Now, I've been building this out, but essentially what this is Amazon referrals for all the stuff that you see here in the room. And one of those things is the ring light that goes around this camera. So if you click on this list, it'll bring you to Amazon. I split it up by category to try to make it easy for you guys. We got microphones, cameras, computer parts, things that are on my desk, the foot pedal that I use while I'm live streaming. But right here on the left, the lighting category. There are 7 items I put in here. I really wanted to give you guys what I use. I always like to recommend things I use. I'm not big on referring things if I don't own them. I haven't touched them and felt them and used them and been able to give you guys an honest recommendation about them. But I also understand budget can be tight, especially when you're starting a YouTube channel. You don't have thousands of dollars to pour into gear. And so we got a nice range here to fit whatever financial situation you're in. The ring light that I have is this newer one. It was a little cheaper in 2018 when I bought it, but it's $94 now. Comes with both orange and white little softbox around the ring. I'll actually click into it real quick so you can see a larger photo. Purchased 2 times. Yeah, you don't want to know what happened to the first one. I knocked it over. Now, I will say I don't use the soft tube. I kind of like the harsh lighting. I don't have it turned all the way up. If I did, it would look something like this. Oh, too much. But this really does the job. Whenever I hop on a Teams call for work, I always get a ton of compliment. Mike, what's your light? You got to send me your light. I'm like, did you check the My Creator Insights essential gear list? I put it there for you, Bill. So if you're wanting to go all in, I love this one. The other thing that's clutch about this one is right in the middle of the tripod, you can see it's got a little mount where you can put your camera. I've got my Panasonic GH5 mounted on there. Instead of having to have 2 tripods, I just use this ring lights tripod with the camera mounted up on top. Good 2 for 1, because I used to have to bungee cord 2 tripods together. I have my camera tripod and my light tripod. Trying to put those together, it just did not work. So if you want to go all in and you're like, hey, I could spend $100 on a good ring light, this would be the one that I would recommend. Just avoid your dog running into it and knocking it over and you'll be good. Free delivery tomorrow. They've gotten fast. All right, so you don't have $100. The budget-friendly option, I've done some research here on Amazon and this Sensign one seems like the best one. Like I said, I don't own this one, but based on the reviews, you can tell 68,000 ratings, 4.4. This is a smaller one. It's only 10 inches. You'll probably have to do some finagling, maybe 2 tripods to be able to put it together. I like to have the camera coming through the center of the ring. You don't have to. There's other options that are boxes or they're squares. You can kind of put them near the camera, but you're always going to get the best light on your face when the camera and the light are both pointed directly at you. So for the budget-friendly option, this one's $30, $35, and $40, depending on the size of the ring that you want. I mean, look how happy they look. I buy it just based on that. All right, so you knocked out your primary light. What other lights do you need? Well, I'll be honest with you, for a long time on YouTube, that was the only light that I had. When you're first starting out, it's really more about figuring out the process and figuring out how to create content than maximizing things like having 10 lights around you and having a bar light behind you. I would encourage you, if you're just starting, get a basic light, get one of these ring lights, but wait on the other lights. They're not a necessity. Only you will really notice the elevation once you go past that first light. It's my advice across all these videos I'm doing for you guys. It's start small. Don't overcommit. admit I have a history of starting a hobby, buying everything in the world for that hobby, and then 3 months later realizing I'm kind of done with that hobby and ready for the next one. That's not to say YouTube will be that for you. I am sure that as we're going along this journey, you and I are taking your YouTube channel to the moon. But to get there, you don't need 15 lights. So start small, start practical, and once you got that first light, start making videos. Shameless plug for my other videos on this channel. If you made it this far and you're looking to grow on YouTube, take just a second, hit that subscribe button. I spent 4 years growing my YouTube channel to 100,000 subs, learned a lot of things, went through a lot of challenges, a lot of hurdles, and so my goal with this channel is to share that knowledge with you guys. I'm also currently building a website, My Creator Insights. The goal here to be the ultimate toolbox for you guys. It's not done. I'm still slinging the code. I actually just pushed a commit this morning. But we've got dashboards, analytics, research tools. I've implemented some OpenAI stuff. I'm really excited about the future of My Creator Insights. If you sign up to the Patreon, link down below, you'll get access to the website and our exclusive content creator Discord. All right, so jumping back into the lighting. We got our primary light. What is next? Well, a lot of big YouTubers, myself included, see how I plug myself with big YouTubers? Myself included, will have some kind of secondary light. Now, I don't have this one on the list. I just realized I probably need to add it. Yep, it's not there. But I've got a secondary softbox light right up here to the left. You can kind of see my hand glowing a little. Now, if I were to turn this light off, you'll notice it's not that much different. And that goes back to what I'm saying about don't go too crazy at the beginning. But when I'm doing my thumbnails and I'm cropping out my face, it's nice to have a secondary light, especially on this side, that softens the shadows a little bit. It's a warmer light than my ring light, so it brings a little bit of color back into my face. I can even go into the app here and just absolutely crank this sucker up, looking at the sun. So the reason you'd want to get a second light, it gives your face a little more depth, a little more dimension. It's not a requirement by any means. And so if you're looking for that next step, a diffuse softbox light like this would be my recommendation. Now, some people have one on both sides. I just have one on the left. There's really no exact formula to going about it, but everyone will tell you the key components of lighting success are light straight on and light at an angle. I am sure that I have grossly oversimplified it. So if you're a lighting guru, do not come into my comments. I already know, okay? Amateur hour here. But if you're a Twitch streamer or a YouTuber, those are the essentials, is you need the light in front of you and you may need a light from the side. Now, my favorite light in this room is not either of these. It's actually this light right here behind me. And that one I did remember to put on the list. Don't know how to pronounce it, Devin wills, but I absolutely love this light. This light is literally a circle on the ground with a stick that comes up. And it's even got this fun thing where you can push your foot to turn it off and on. Bada bing, bada boom. Now, the reason I use this light is because my studio in here, nice and soundproof. You can tell I've got the soundproofing all the way around. It's on the ceiling. I mean, the noise in this room is just incredible. Now, while this is not a music studio and I'm not a sound engineer, it is super helpful when I'm filming videos early in the morning like this and the kids are asleep upstairs, always watching the baby monitor. So this room is perfect because it allows me to go, what's going on, you guys? Welcome back to the video. And it is currently 5:50 a.m. But the con is I didn't really have any foresight when it comes to the visuals of the space. I love the way that this looks. And so this bar light allows me to bring new visuals to the background behind me. And that's kind of the third step we're gonna jump into, which is background lighting. This bar light, a prime example, has nothing to do with my face, my lighting. It really just highlights and accentuates the foam on the wall and maybe some of the stuff on my desk. It's warm, it's nice to look at, it's unique. I feel like it gives what would otherwise be kind of a boring space just enough of a pop of color, but it doesn't distract from what's going on up here. Now, the other thing people like to do is colorful lights. You've got these Govee hex tiles. I've never used them, but I have friends that rave about them. And then what I do have is these Philip Hue lights up in the ceiling. And so when it comes to background color, you can tell right now, it doesn't really look like there's much going on in the camera. But what if I were to tell you that right above my head is a blue light? Hold on, I'll prove it to you. Let's turn all of these other lights off and you can start to see my hat changing colors a little bit. Let's go ahead and turn these guys off. Now the blue light is the only light that's, oh, I may film like this. So I do have Philips Hue lights up in the ceiling. I've got canned lights across the studio here. I can change the color of these if I want to. Mojito green. Whoa, too bright. Jungle. Let's see what's going on there. Oh! Now that is fun. Realize I had that. I'm gonna leave it on party for a little while. So the smart home app that I use is called Wiz. You can pair the Philips lights to it and it actually pairs from the bulb, which is nice. You can set these on timers. So in the morning, I like to get up and edit, keep the lights a little bit lower, a little bit warmer. And then once it hits film time, ring light comes on. There's some pretty cool scheduling you can do with a lot of these smart apps. All right, thankfully I have a scene for filming, so I'm gonna go ahead and reset it here. But it's always fun to throw a punch of color. These Philip Hue lights are a little bit expensive. There is a cheaper competitor out there. I'm going to try to put that one on the list as well, just to give you guys the budget-friendly options like I did with the ring light. But throwing a splash of color in the background can always be fun. Some people will put it up against a wall. They'll do these hex tiles. Now, as you guys are watching other YouTubers, I'd love for you to think about the lighting that they have. Like I said, it matters less for outdoor videos, like this farm video right here, because the sun can be your best friend. Oh, one pro tip I completely forgot to mention. If you're using natural light, same rules apply as the ring light. Try to make the natural light in front of you. I don't have any windows in this room, but natural light is actually the preferred alternative. If you're filming during the day and you can get natural light on your face, just something about the sun, it makes us all look better. Oh, MKBHD. All right, let's look at his channel because immediately you're gonna tell with the lighting. Watch. Bam! Look at this. All right, so he has elected to use outdoor lighting behind him here as his third light. That's kind of cool, but you'd think if I were to sit down right here, I'd be a silhouette. Like it'd be completely dark. You wouldn't even be able to see him. But man, oh man, you can tell he has got the light set up. All right, so taking a look at his face here, you can tell he's got the diffuse softbox, probably one like this one up above me here on the left side of his face. We'll have to go to one other video though, because I feel like for him, this is a little more moody, a little darker than he normally does. I feel like he's always in a studio with a bright white background, lights on both sides. But you can tell here, he's got a primary light kind of hitting across that forehead. I guarantee there's some kind of light coming off the camera, but the primary is really the box. That were to be if I turned this one way down, and then I went to this one and turned it way up. It's a different vibe. You can tell this side of my face is a little bit darker now, a little bit sharp. That's what he's going for here. I don't think he's got a light on this other side of his face. I think the white line that you're seeing is the diffuse from the window. But these are things to be thinking about. Research other channels that you want to copy their style. And when I say copy with YouTube, copying someone, taking inspiration from them is the best form of flattery. You want to find channels that you want your content to grow into. Now, if you're stealing thumbnails and you're stealing scripts, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking purely drawing inspiration from channels that you either want to be like, that you think are successful, or that match where you want your channel to go. I spend a lot of time researching other YouTube channels, and I think you should as well. That's true when it comes to lighting. It's true when it comes to thumbnails. If you haven't watched my video on how to make a viral thumbnail, you got to check that one out. We research a ton of different channels in that video. It's pretty cool. All right, so last one. Here's what I'm thinking of. He normally has kind of this white background, bright light. Oh yeah, okay. So he's got lights up above him here. He's got lights from the window, a light straight onto his face. There's probably 3 or 4 lights that are not the sun at play here. But if you're not focused on the lighting, you're just like, man, PhD, he looks good. And he does. He does look good. But there was a lot of prep work that happened to get to this point. All right, so that's gonna do it for today. Hopefully you learned a thing or two about lighting. If you found this video helpful, don't forget, leave a like if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you're new and you wanna follow along on the content creation journey. Like I said, check out the Patreon. We got My Creator Insights. I'm pushing new changes for that website all the time. Jump into the Discord. It's all aspiring content creators. You can talk ideas, get feedback on your titles, your thumbnails. And like I said before, my goal is to maximize your potential and build the ultimate suite of tools to help you take your content to the next level. I just made that up on the spot. That was pretty good. I have to put that in some of my marketing campaigns. All right, guys, leave me a comment if there's any topics you'd like me to hit on. I got a list of about 500 that I want to cover this year. But that's it for today. I will catch you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching. Peace.